At this moment, as Captain Fuchs lifts the nose to slow the jumbo for landing, the roll to the right returns. He jams the rudder further to the left, but now the plane barely responds. Co-pilot Ohad alerts Schiphol.
Controlling problem as well.
The news sends a chill through Ter Brakke. He immediately contacts his colleague Henriette van Openen.
Hank summed that up to me by intercom and said, he is now in deep, deep trouble.
90 seconds later, Fuchs still battles to control the roll, but it's getting worse. And now, the jumbo is losing height fast. It's just seconds from the Belma suburb. Here, unaware of the looming danger, Marlena and Stanley near their friend's apartment. Teenagers Guillermo and Graciela relax at home. 4 floors up, at the other end of the Groeneveen block, 31-year-old Andre Bos hears the approaching rumble of jet engines.
You can describe the noise as getting louder all the time, and eventually it starts to roar.
Suddenly, the roll accelerates to an extreme 90-degree angle, and the jumbo spirals towards the Belma.
Raise the flap. Get your gear down. Going down. Going down.
Tank rate. Pull up.
The roar of the jet is now deafening. Andre grabs the phone to call the emergency services. Seconds later, a nightmare unfolds just meters from his home.
I looked at the landing gear as it flew straight past my balcony.
Marlena and Stanley reach their friend's apartment. In his 10th floor apartment, 36-year-old bank worker Rinus de Haan is about to eat dinner. A screech from his pet cat brings him to his balcony. He's paralyzed by what he sees. The jumbo is heading straight for his apartment block.
I saw my life go by in a flash from my childhood to that moment. I thought, it's over.
"6:35 p.m. and 42 seconds. El Al 1862 smashes into the 6th floor of the 11-story apartment block.
I heard a huge noise. It was as if a door slammed closed, like a bang.
The impact knocks Rinus unconscious. Burning aviation fuel rains down onto dozens of apartments. The sound of the crash came from the direction of Marlena and Stanley's home, where they left their children just minutes ago. The couple race back, gripped by fear. What terrible disaster has struck their neighborhood? And are Guillermo and Graciela in danger? El Al 1862, a 747 freighter laden with cargo, smashes into the 6th floor of an apartment block in Amsterdam. "6:35 p.m. and 47 seconds. Air traffic controller Henk Ter Brakke realizes the signal from the jumbo has stopped. Up in the control tower, Henriette van Openen can see why. A column of flame and smoke reveals the jumbo has crashed. Marlena and Stanley Treudemann race for home. Suddenly, through the trees, they see a towering wall of flame.
Stan said to me, Marlena, it's our flat. I said, no, that's impossible. He said, Marlena, our children, our children. He was screaming.
Stanley freezes, but Marlena runs to the burning apartment block. She finds a staircase and races to the 5th floor.
I was only thinking, I need to find my children. I need to find my children.
At the exact point where her home used to be, she's facing an abyss. A burning hole.
I couldn't believe that my house was gone. I stood there and thought, no, I'm dreaming.
It suddenly occurs to Marlena that her children, 16-year-old Guillermo and 14-year-old Graciela, may have heard the plane coming and escaped. She starts a frantic search for them. On the 10th floor, bank worker Rinus de Haan regains consciousness. He staggers to his front door. To his horror, it won't budge. Shockwaves from the crash have shifted the frame and jammed the door shut. Rinus realizes he survived the crash, but now he could burn to death. There's no way out. Not even his cat can jump from the 10th floor.
I thought, this is the end. I thought if I come out, it'll be a miracle.
Andre Boss's apartment, 200 meters away, escaped the impact. Now he rushes to the crash site to see if he can help.
What you see is the enormous heart of the fire. You see flames come out of every house.
Andre knows there could be hundreds trapped or injured, and many could die before firefighters arrive. With no thought for his own safety, he smashes open doors which are jammed or locked. Entering some apartments would be suicide. There are too many flames. But in others, he rescues people who've been overcome by smoke. Stunned local people rush to the scene. Marlena Treudemann desperately questions everyone near the crash site. Have they seen her two children, Guillermo and Graciela? Still trapped in his 10th floor apartment, Rinus de Haan feels the temperature soaring as the blaze rages outside.
At that moment, it was 58 degrees Celsius already in my house. I was sweating pints.
Rinus fears he's got just minutes to live. But he can do nothing except pray that he and his cat will be rescued. Just when he thinks he's about to pass out, neighbors break in. They rush him from the inferno in the nick of time. "6:40 p.m. Less than 5 minutes after the crash, the first of 16 fire engines from across Amsterdam arrives at the scene. Brave local people like Andre Boss have already pulled many survivors from the crash zone. Now firefighters take over the rescue operation and tackle the inferno. News crews capture the scene as paramedics start to treat the injured. "50 minutes after the crash, Marlena still searches for her children. But no one has seen them. The terrible truth starts to sink in. She said goodbye to Guillermo and Graciela less than an hour ago and promised to be back soon. Now, all hope of seeing them alive again is fading.
At that moment, I felt as if I was dead myself. I felt as if I had died inside. Why did this have to happen? Why did my children have to go?
News of the disaster spreads around the world.
As many as 200 may be dead tonight after the worst air disaster ever in the Netherlands.